as well as an employee at a supermarket. While at work, Jack is reprimanded by his boss for his beard. He was also threatened with being fired if he didn't shave his beard immediately. After the boss left, a woman named Ellie came. She is Jack's manager and also Jack's best friend who has always supported Jack in his music. Just then, Ellie tells Jack that they have an offer to play at the Hotel Pierre Music Festival tomorrow. Hearing the news, Jack felt very happy. He didn't think he would be able to perform at a famous festival in his city. Jack sang with enthusiasm because performing there had always been his dream. But the stage where Jack performed was only a stage with a small tent away from the main stage.
I'm gonna rock this road tonight. Road, I gotta follow wherever it goes.
After the event was over, Ellie drove Jack home in her car. On the way, Jack told Ellie that he was going to stop singing. Jack felt that it was impossible for an ordinary street busker like him to become a famous singer. Ellie, who heard Jack's decision, was shocked. She kept trying to convince Jack not to give up. Ellie was sure that one day, there would be a miracle for Jack. Annoyed, Jack asks Ellie to stop the car. He then continued his journey by bicycle. But that night, suddenly the electricity all over the earth went out. And Jack had an accident. Since then, Jack has been hospitalized. And as a result of that accident, Jack lost 2 of his front teeth. Not long after, Ellie came to visit. Seeing Jack's toothless condition, Ellie even said that Jack was cute. Day after day passed by. Jack is now home from the hospital. There, Ellie came to pick up and immediately took Jack to meet his friends. While they were together, one by one, they gave gifts for Jack's recovery. Jack gets a special gift from Ellie, which is a guitar. Ellie knew, due to yesterday's accident, Jack's guitar was broken. They all then told Jack to try playing the guitar and sing a song.
Yesterday, today, there's a shadow hanging over me. Had to go, I don't go yesterday.
Jack sings a song called Yesterday. Hearing the song, all of his friends including Ellie fell silent in awe, because the lyrics of the song had a very deep meaning. Ellie then asked Jack how he could write such a good song. But Jack was confused by Ellie's question. Everyone would know that the song he had sung was a song from the Beatles. But Ellie and all her friends look weird when Jack mentions the name of the Beatles. As if they had never heard that name. When he returned home, Jack, who felt that his friends had pranked him, immediately searched on Google. And how surprised he was when he saw that there wasn't any information about a band called the Beatles. In the midst of his confusion, under heavy rain, Jack went to Ellie's house to make sure Ellie really didn't know about the Beatles. After making sure that the Beatles really disappeared and no one remembers them, Jack had an idea. The idea was that Jack would sing and popularize all the Beatles songs in his own name. The next day, Jack went to the school where Ellie taught. Apart from being Jack's manager, Ellie is also a math teacher. Jack had come there only to tell Ellie that he had now made a lot of great songs. Day after day passed by, Jack continued to practice memorizing the lyrics of all the Beatles songs. Before leaving to perform at an event, Jack was asked by his parents to sing a song in front of them.
When I find myself
Sorry, Jack's just playing us a new song.
Would you like a drink, Terry?
Dad.
Sorry, Jack. Your dad's a rude man.
There he comes.
I'm just at Jed and Sheila's house. Yeah.
Have summer song.
Christ, this is Lenny! Is it like watching Da Vinci paint the Mona Lisa? Be quiet for a single second.
Then after that, Jack continued to sing the Beatles songs from one event to another. But one day, when Jack had just finished singing in a cafe, he finally realized something. Even if Jack had sung all the Beatles songs, he would still not be as famous as the band. Not that if the Beatles disappeared from this world, then the band's fame could move to Jack. Jack was getting desperate and thought about quitting singing. But then, Ellie came to give news that there was a music producer named Gavin who liked Jack's songs and offered to record in his music studio. Hearing the news, Jack's spirit returned.
Oh yeah, when I let me hold your hand, I get high
After finishing recording, he then distributed all the albums of his songs to all visitors to the supermarket where he worked for free. Until one day, the story of the supermarket employee who distributed his album for free went viral, until Jack was invited to a television station program to sing his song there. When Jack and Ellie came home from the event, Jack got a call from a famous singer named Ed Sheeran. He said that the song that Jack was singing on TV really touched his heart. But instead Jack thought that it was his friend who was being ignorant and immediately hung up the phone. Ellie asked who was calling Jack, and she casually replied that it was Ed Sheeran. Hearing that, Ellie couldn't believe it. Arriving home, suddenly his mother called Jack because someone was looking for him. And as it turned out, that person was actually Ed Sheeran. After Ed Sheeran leaves, Jack rushes to Ellie's house to break the news. He was invited directly by Ed Sheeran to sing for his opening concert in Moscow. Jack asked Ellie to accompany him as a manager, but Ellie refused because on that date, she had to continue teaching at the school. How disappointed Jack was. After all this time Ellie had always accompanied him from scratch, but when success was in sight, she just didn't want to come. Because there is no other choice, Jack finally invites one of his friends named Rocky to replace Ellie as manager. At the concert, when Jack was singing the Beatles song Back in the USSR, all the audience seemed to really enjoy Jack's performance. But among the crowd of people there was a man who just stood silently staring at Jack until the concert ended, as if the song that Jack sang really touched the man's heart. After the event was over, at the backstage, Ed Sheeran and the rest of the crew were gathered to celebrate the success of their concert. Ed Sheeran tried to enliven the event by challenging Jack to a competition to compose an impromptu song in just 10 minutes. And if Jack wins, then Ed Sheeran will recognize Jack as a greater songwriter than him. Listening to Jack's song, Ed Sheeran was speechless.
Will never this leads me here. Oh, don't leave me. Oh.
He also admits defeat and admits that Jack is a greater songwriter than him. In fact, the song is actually the Beatles' song. Then, Ed Sheeran's manager named Deborah offered Jack to join her management. If Jack was interested, then he could meet Deborah in Los Angeles tomorrow. Jack's family and friends have a party at his house to celebrate Jack's success in becoming a famous singer. Ellie, who felt that she would part with Jack, then tried to express her feelings. But Jack did not realize Ellie's feelings. Not long after, Jack's father came. He told Jack to go back to the party. After Jack left, Ellie felt very disappointed because Jack was still not recognizing her feelings. The next day, Jack and Rocky went to Los Angeles. When they got there, Deborah said that she could make Jack a famous singer like Ed Sheeran, as long as Jack would follow her orders. At first Jack had doubts. He was afraid that if he became famous later, someone would realize that the song he had composed was the song of the Beatles. But after Deborah reassures Jack with her sly words, Jack agrees. Some time later, Jack entered the recording studio and began recording the Beatles song. After recording, Jack and Rocky went back to the hotel. Jack, who was very tired, said that now he really wanted to smoke. But hearing that, Rocky was confused because he didn't know what smoking meant. And from there, Jack realized that apart from the Beatles, cigarettes were also missing in this world. Several months passed. Jack Malik has become a famous singer. Everyone around the world loves the Beatles songs that Jack claims to be his. After that, Jack planned to sing the Beatles song Eleanor Rigby, but he had trouble remembering the full lyrics of the song. Finally, he decides to go to Eleanor Rigby's grave in Liverpool with Rocky. Jack hoped that by looking at Eleanor Rigby's grave he could recall the lyrics to the song. In Liverpool, when Jack and Rocky are at the funeral, there is a woman who is secretly watching Jack from a distance. As if she knew something. While in the hotel room, Jack tries again to sing a song called Eleanor Rigby. But suddenly the receptionist called and told him that someone wanted to meet him in the lobby. How surprised Jack was that it was Ellie. He came to congratulate Jack because now he has become a famous singer. Then the two of them spend time together, such as eating at restaurants, going to bars, and reminiscing about the times when they both traveled together.
Hello?
In their moment of happiness, Ellie felt she needed to end all of this. She couldn't keep liking Jack all the time, while Jack himself never wanted to give certainty about their relationship. She feels very tired if she has to always be in the friend zone. And finally, Ellie decided to end their moment together. She then said that tomorrow she would go home, back to her town. When Jack wakes up in the morning, he feels guilty because last night he had made Ellie cry. He plans to apologize and immediately chase Ellie to the station. But when he got there, Jack was too late. Ellie was gone. But it turns out that Ellie is still waiting at a cafe. Jack immediately apologized to Ellie and then explained that he could not accept Ellie as a girlfriend. Because from childhood, they were always together, to the point that Jack considered Ellie as his own little sister. Hearing that Ellie's feelings broke, she was disappointed. And from now on, Ellie decided to stop loving Jack. In the middle of the chat, Rocky came. He said it was time for Jack to go to Los Angeles. Very forced, Jack finally left Ellie, who was heartbroken. In Los Angeles, Jack has to attend a meeting with the staff to take care of his new album. When the staff called Jack's work a miracle, Jack couldn't help but be silent. He felt he didn't deserve all the credit, because the songs were actually masterpieces by the Beatles, not Jack's original songs. It wasn't long before Jack resumed recording for his new song, Hey Jude. But Ed Sheeran suggested changing the lyrics to Hey Dude. In the middle of recording, suddenly Rocky came to give a call from Ellie. There, Ellie just wanted to say hello to Jack and let him know that she is now dating Gavin, the music producer. Jack, who heard the news, was devastated and disappointed. But Jack had to continue recording. After that, Rocky gave a suggestion that if he were in Jack's position, then he would definitely reciprocate Ellie's feelings and honestly express all his heart no matter how busy his work schedule or other matters are. Hearing that, Jack got an idea. Where he will be holding a concert to promote his first album in a very special place for both of them. The place where he remembered playing with Ellie before Jack was famous. The place is the Hotel Pierre Festival. Before Jack appears, Ellie pays a visit to see Jack. Turns out, she came with Gavin. Seeing Ellie and Gavin together makes Jack feel jealous. He then recalled the moments when he and Ellie started their careers together. They are looking for stages to perform. Eli, who at that time saw Jack start to give up, again gave encouragement so that Jack continued to pursue his dream. Recalling those memories, Jack felt sorry that he had wasted a woman as good as Ellie. After that, Rocky drove him to the concert venue. Before that, Rocky hugged and thanked Jack for trusting him as manager all this time. At the beginning of the concert, when Jack sings a song called Help. He sings the song as if he is signaling that Jack is currently asking for help. He is fed up with all her lies and feelings. Jack felt that in this world he was the only one who still remembered the things that people had forgotten. When the concert is over, Rocky tells that there are two people who want to meet with Jack. It turned out that those people were a man who was silent during a concert in Moscow and the other was a woman who had secretly seen Jack at Eleanor Rigby's grave in Liverpool. They said that apart from Jack, they were both people who still remembered who the Beatles were. Hearing that, Jack was shocked. He thought he would be arrested and his lies would be exposed for claiming the Beatles songs. But after chatting, the two of them even said that the purpose of the two of them to meet Jack was to thank Jack for his hard work in singing the Beatles songs that had been lost from this world. Because for both of them, a world without the Beatles is a world without life. The woman then handed Jack a piece of paper with an address for someone who might be able to help Jack. Out of curiosity, the next day, Jack went to that address. Upon arrival, how surprised Jack was when he saw that the person who opened the door was John Lennon, the vocalist of the Beatles who should have died. John Lennon looks alive and well, living a normal life just like people in general. Because the Beatles never existed, then John Lennon is also not a famous person. Jack then asked if John's life is now happy even though he is not a famous singer. John, who heard the question, then said that happiness is not because we are known by many people, but when we can live life together with the people we love no matter what the circumstances. After hearing all the advice from the idol, now Jack knows what he has to do. Jack then called and asked Ed Sheeran to let him perform at his concert for a few minutes. And at the Ed Sheeran concert, it was Jack's turn to perform.
Please welcome to the stage, your hero,
She will just shut me. Here comes the sun.
The sun was too good for you.
The game, it's easy. It's love.
While Jack is singing, at the backstage, Ellie meets Rocky. Rocky told Ellie to be quiet for a while and not to go anywhere. After Jack finished singing, Ellie's face suddenly appeared on the stage screen. As it turned out, Jack had planned it all. There, Jack revealed to the entire audience all the truths that he had been keeping secret. That in fact, all of his songs so far were not his creations. But he only brought songs created by a band called the Beatles. Jack also said that from now on, he will upload the songs for free on the internet without taking any profit from the song. All the audience who heard it were silently confused, because they did not understand what Jack meant. They didn't know which band the Beatles Jack was referring to. But because Jack has been honest, all the audience respect. And on that stage, Jack finally confessed his feelings to Ellie, that he actually really loved her too. On the other hand, Deborah, who heard all of Jack's confessions, was angry and immediately went after Jack. While Jack found Ellie, who was waiting for him. In the middle of their chat, Gavin came and then said that he would let Ellie go with Jack if it would make Ellie happy. Not long after, all the reporters chased after Jack to ask for an explanation of Jack's confession earlier. Jack immediately ran to take Ellie away from there. They run away, leaving all the hustle and bustle of Jack's fame.
To make a change in our life, talking about love and light, waking me here talking to you. What a wonderful way to be making a change now. Things are going so perfect, honestly, yes.
Finally, after going through all that incident, Jack and Ellie got married and lived happily with their children. Jack began to fill simple events at school by still singing the Beatles songs. Jack sings the Beatles song Obla-Dee, Obla-Da. One afternoon, while Jack and Ellie were enjoying some time together, Jack said that he now felt like a normal human being again. He felt like he was Harry Potter. Ellie, who heard Jack's words, asked, "What is Harry Potter?"